if you grew up in the 80s or 90s and you played video games, manuals coming with the game was a common thing. I mean, it's just what we were accustomed to. I loved looking through manuals back then. Nowadays, it's kind of like, it's very rare to get a manual in a game. There are some exceptions like indie games and whatnot, but it's like anytime I buy a new Switch game and I open it up and I'm greeted to all this empty space, I'm just like, and there's like a little spot right there to put a manual. It's just a reminder. I know this isn't the most important thing in the world, and at the same time, does it really take away from the complete experience? I would argue slightly it does, but in the end, it's about the game, playing the game and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it would be amazing to get a little manual in there. It just doesn't happen anymore. Like sometimes you get this cool art in the background or a reversible cover on a Switch game, that kind of thing. Sometimes you get this crappy just white background with customer support. That's it. What's in this one? Oh, reversible cover. Sometimes you might get a little insert with a download code or something, but that's about it. Back in the day, man, NES games, we were getting a manual with everything. Some better than others, you know, but I really do miss it, and that's really all this video is about. Taking a look at some old school manuals and just kind of reminiscing, right? Even this little Tengen manual, you know, it gives you little strategies and whatnot. Pretty cool. So when did like manuals go away? Like there was like this time period, like the 3DS and the like the Xbox 360, PS3, where I think both, like all those consoles, like some games came with manuals. Like boom, Lost Odyssey, you got this big thick boy of a manual, of artwork for characters and whatnot. And move the drink of the day right here. This is rum chata and root beer, definitely recommend it. But let me get that out of the way. But prologue, some story elements, like this is a thick, nice manual. Going over the controls, all the basics, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a beautiful manual for the 360. Really good manual, nice. And then, oh man, this is like a 4-disc game. All these discs just flying everywhere. Then you would get to other releases where it was like, did I get a manual? Did I get a manual? Oh my God, I got a manual. And then you go to get it and it's like, wait, this is a leaflet. What is this shit? This isn't a manual. What is this crap? Just some warnings. That's it. This isn't a manual. It looks like it could have been a manual, but it's not. What is this one? Just in another language. It's not a manual. The frick, dude? And you know, some 3DS games, I think maybe earlier 3DS games, you would get manuals. Like Steel Diver here. I'm not even sure how thorough of a manual this is, but got some warnings and whatnot. Controls, little story elements listed in there. Controls with showing you the UI, how everything works. I mean, decent manual, not the thickest manual in the world. A section for notes. Remember back in the day, writing down all your Game Genie codes or little Infinite Lives codes and whatnot in NES manuals? Holy crap. But then like other 3DS games, it was like you would get this, viewing the game manual. Instead of a game manual, you would get this poster. Kind of ridiculous. You get this poster that's just like, hey, do you want to look at the game manual? Well, you know how to do it? Just like tap the button labeled menu displayed on the home menu. Okay, it's a built-in manual. But they gave you this little pamphlet that could have been a manual, right? I think this game might be the same. Yeah, same thing. Like you started getting this crap, viewing the game manual. I want this stuff, you know, this awesomeness right here. Like this is what I want, right? I want a thick manual. That's what she said. Okay, well, let's move on to Wii U, right? So we'll take a look at some of these retro manuals in a moment, but the Wii U, Nintendo Land, launch title, right? Oh, cool. We got a manual. I remember the first time seeing this, I was like, sweet. There's a manual in here. We got a little insert too. Essentially, oh, if you like this game, check out these games type of thing, right? Okay, so what about the manual that comes with it? It looks nice and thick. So we open her up. You get the warranty and warnings. Welcome to Nintendo Land, Visitor's Guide. And then it goes over each of the attractions, right? Cool, I wonder what else is in here. Warnings again, but in another language? What? It's a manual that repeats itself in multiple languages. I'm not against that whatsoever, but it's a 2-page manual. It's not a real manual. There's no real information here. I mean, it's better than nothing, but I think that's kind of where things started falling off. The Wii U went the same way as the 3DS. Like, you started getting stuff like, oh, manual? Oh wait, what's that? It says viewing the electronic manual again? Press that home button and then select electronic manual. Same with the 3DS. Okay, pamphlet. Okay, better than nothing, but not a manual, just showing the control options. Damn it, right? But you get all these inserts for nothing. It's freaking nuts. Nintendo Remix, what did we get here? Oh, view the electronic manual. You get a manual that tells you how to view the electronic manual. That's it, man. It's a shame. Like, I get it. Like, nowadays you get absolutely nothing. You don't even get this stuff, Maybe it's to save on paper. I don't know. But, when you look at a Nintendo Switch case, it's like there's so much empty space. Like, really, this could be like this size. I understand that doesn't look great in a retail shelf and, whatever. Maybe having it a little more substantial in size is a marketing thing, but there's so much empty space here, So it's a waste of plastic anyway, right? You could put it in like a recyclable cardboard container, I guess, but the Wii had manuals, but I think there were games as well that didn't have manuals. It's just crazy, like Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Man, my favorite Wii game. This is my favorite Wii game. It's the only reason I hold on to a Wii, even though I do emulate the game as well. It has a pretty big community online. But this was cool, man. This manual goes over the control options for all the various controllers you could use, what the game screen, the whole user interface, what everything means there. Just breaking down everything. Moves, the modes. A very colorful manual. Back in the day, like if you were a kid and you got a brand new game at the store and your parents were driving you home, look at that. I love that, man. Like before all this, before the Wii, PlayStation, you had Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, everything had a manual, dude. Nowadays, you're not seeing stuff like this, but yeah, you would be on the ride home, bust open that game, start reading the manual. You gotta go use the bathroom. Let me read the manual while I'm sitting there doing my business, Plenty of things. Take the manual to school. Study it, Look at that, notes. This is a small manual too. I mean, it's okay. They did the multiple language thing, I'm assuming, yeah. So multiple languages, really, it's only 11 pages for this manual. But hey, I mean, that's the way it went, right? Sega Genesis, Lightning Force, Quest for the Dark Star. I think a lot of Genesis manuals were black and white. Like, I'm not sure how many were in color. If anybody knows, let me know. Like, I didn't have a Sega Genesis back in the day, but I know a lot of the games that I've looked at with manuals, they were black and white. I'm not saying there never was any color ones, but it's still a freaking manual. Dude, you could see some screenshots. Study the game, what the items do. Like, that is awesome, man. Scoreboard, you could, put the date, the name, and the score. Have your own little leaderboard in the manual. Oh my God. Sweet. DS games, man. DS games had manuals. I think, this is a weird manual. I don't remember ever looking at this one. Maybe I did. I just don't remember it. It's like opens up like a calendar. I have a feeling this might be like multiple languages too. No. It's a thick-ass manual. That's really nice. Huh. Interesting. Super Mario RPG. Amazing game. Loved it. Role-playing games, I always loved looking at the manuals for them. I was really big on role-playing games back with the Super Nintendo. So getting a nice manual, maybe a map, that was cool. That was cool. Wow, this world is huge. So this is where Mario is going to travel. That's right, Luigi. Shut your hole. That's how you use the controller. Luigi's got to serve his purpose here, man. Don't you miss this stuff? Man, it's all the special shots. I got to play through this game again. It's been a while. This was an awesome game. like, physical media, it's kind of, dying out a bit. And I know some people have embraced all digital, some people hybrid of it, be it against their will or by choice, type of thing. We have all these streaming services and whatnot for movies and music. It's just the world that we live in. Man, Super Mario World. Let's take a look at this one. They have a whole big story there. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of times you would get like, special artwork just for a manual. Look at these fuzzy ass screenshots and controller. Picture of the controller. Man, I gotta smell this. Smells delicious. Look at that. The artwork showing the controls, demonstrating with little, hand-drawn art looking type stuff. Maybe not hand-drawn, I don't know, but it still looks great. Could have been drawn on a computer. It's still drawn by hand somehow. You didn't just tell the computer, draw Mario, and it drew it. Somebody had to make this artwork one way or another, right? But it's awesome looking at this stuff. The colored Yoshis, hells yeah. Yoshi's Island, dude, like, this is nostalgia right here. This is the good stuff, man. Dino Rhino. Memo, put your notes back there. SimCity, this is a thick one, man. This is an important one. Holy crap. Like, if you played, like, I love this game. I loved SimCity, Sim Earth. I loved those types of games back in the day. Populous was one of my favorites. I still could sit there and play Populous for hours. Like, I would live stream that game, but it's so boring watching it. I mean, that's probably why I won't do it. I love the game, but, some games just kind of hard to really be lively and exciting as with viewers in mind. But yeah, this one, like, going over everything. Like, look how thorough this is. It's almost like a strategy guide with how thorough it is. You even have a glossary of terms. Holy crap. Information map. Like, this is the stuff I miss, man. Just a deep dive on what you're getting yourself into. All the maps, the numbers associated with the different map orientations, that's sweet. Nintendo 64 manual, one of my favorite games for the Nintendo 64, Wave Race. I mean, how thorough of a manual can this be, right? But it's still a manual. I mean, it's a racing game. There's not too much to know, but they still go over the characters, their rankings for each of the, their stats, handling, grip, collision stability, max speed, that kind of thing. Really awesome, man. I miss this kind of stuff. Just wanted to share some manuals with you guys, some of my thoughts, and just appreciate what we had and what we don't really have too much of anymore today. Things have changed. I still enjoy gaming, but, I know as we get older, every generation's gonna look back on when they grew up and be like, that was the better time. It's just the way it is, right? Let me know what you guys think down below. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Bye.